Many people know that professions like doctors, lawyers, and accountants can qualify for things called LMI waivers, which can save them tens of thousands of dollars and allow them to enter the property market earlier. What people don't know is that it's not just these professions that can qualify, and it's a lot broader than many people think. I'll quickly refresh on what LMI is. LMI stands for Lender's Mortgage Insurance, which is effectively a fee you pay to the bank in order to lend you money that's perhaps more riskier than they're comfortable with. In most instances, LMI will kick in if you look to borrow more than 80% of the value of the property. To give us an idea of what we're looking at, let's look at a real life example. If you were to buy a property for $1 million and you were to borrow $900,000 secured by that property, you'd be borrowing 90% of the value of the property. If you didn't have an LMI waiver, you would pay between $22,000 to $23,000 in LMI, which would either come out of your savings or be capitalized onto the loan. Now, this is a lot of money, so obviously, if there was a way to avoid it, we'd like to find out how. An LMI waiver is effectively when the bank deems you or your profession or your loan to be sufficiently safe, they don't need to charge you that fee of LMI. Historically, these LMI waivers have been offered to doctors, dentists, lawyers, and accountants. However, more recently, banks have been introducing these LMI waivers to a broader range of professions. It's important to note that not every bank offers the same LMI waivers to the same professions, but we now have banks that can offer LMI waivers for teachers, nurses, podiatrists, psychologists, chiropractors, and many other professions that typically weren't covered by your LMI waivers previously. What this means is if you're in one of those professions, you are now potentially eligible to borrow 90% of the value of the property without paying LMI. Even if you don't fall under this now broader range of professions that can be exempt from LMI, you may still qualify. Some banks are offering LMI waivers for loans of up to 85%, regardless of your profession. It's important to note that while the medical and legal LMI waivers are across many of the major banks, these other professions are often only applicable to one or two banks. What this means is if you went to the wrong bank, you could pay $22,000 to $23,000 in LMI that you could reduce to zero by going to the correct lender. If you're curious as to whether you qualify for any of these LMI waivers or want to know more about getting into the property market, shoot me a message.